Oh, hello everybody! Happy New Year!
Happy New Year and everything. Yes, indeed.
Yes. Somebody. Oops. That's. Oh, sorry. Somebody had the whirly little disc of death there for a second, but that was me. So, let's start the show. Anyway, here we. You what? Sorry.
Somebody.
Yeah, exactly. I always deflect it onto somebody else. Happy New Year, everybody. We're back after a 2 and a bit week gap. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we all this evening?
All right. Yeah, a little bit tired, but otherwise good. Good.
Did we all have restful and interesting Christmases?
Yes, I sure did.
Well, Chris, you went to start speaking. It was like, well, I'm not interrupting Chris now.
Well, yeah. Well, I had a good Christmas. As is the tradition, I got no modeling gifts whatsoever from my family, which is the way it works. But my friend Randy gave me the DH9 kit that came out a while ago. What is it, the Dora Wings kit or the Clear Prop? I think it's Clear Prop. Really nice kit. And I was also excited. We had a Christmas Eve or Christmas night gift exchange with some friends, like kind of a white elephant exchange. And so, we put in things like SpongeBob SquarePants socks and things like that. And I got this, which somehow resonated with me. I don't understand why. This Mr. Rogers figure from.
Okay.
I don't know why I like it so much. I can't. There's some connection here. I'm not really putting together, but
sometimes something just hits you where you live, doesn't it?
Exactly.
That's all you need, isn't it? That's all you need.
Yeah. Fred Rogers was a TV host here at Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and he talked to children like people should talk to children.
You see an awful lot of. I mean, he was never on television in this country, but I think nearly everybody knows who he is and what he was.
Yeah,
he played by Tom Hanks in a recent film.
He was. Yep. So
yeah.
Anyway, a great, very fun Christmas, kind of relaxing, and I actually got some modeling in, and I'm happy to say all the Christmas decorations are put away now, and family can move on to the next stage. So
yeah, the next trip round the sun. But, I had quite a quiet Christmas overall, but I had a decidedly less quiet New Year. It has to be said. Over in that there island.
I'm still waiting for you to come up and have your late Christmas here.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. But yes, my New Year was decidedly less than quiet, thanks to the wonderful Jerry Doyle, who is generally here around these parts of an evening. But yes, had a fabulous New Year. Just absolutely. Words can't explain how good it was, really.
I worked for most of Christmas and New Year, so we'll just leave that at that.
Thanks, Ian.
Welcome to the motor trade.
Ian Downer in the corner there.
Well, that's how it is, I'm afraid. That's what they say, isn't it? You had a job in the motor trade. Beatles?
We normally talk about the fire escape trade, but
we normally do talk about the fire escape trade. Drew, we will have our catch up soon because
yes.
I've still got the emergency Christmas tree on standby so that we can have a jolly old Christmas here, and I've also sorted out all the 2 of the 3 copies of The Thing to watch. But we're not going to bother with the 2011 prequel, quite frankly.
See, I like it more than you do. I don't object to it. I didn't think it was brilliant, but I didn't think it was awful.
All right. I'll tell you what. We'll go for the trio, shall we? We'll go for the 3.
Yeah, I think we ought to.
Yeah,
I think we ought to.
Fair enough.
You can't just back out of something because you don't think it's great. Part of it, you know.
Well, my television, my DVD.
You know, you can't do me and Star Wars.
Well, there is that. There is that. Excuse me. Right. Shall we talk news first, or shall we talk projects?
You, mate, you decide. You always throw this out.
I'm trying to run
this out. Ian, what are you up to? Ian, what are you up to? Come on.
What am I up to? Well, I finished something.
So go on, Ian. Go on, Ian.
So I finished. Hang on. Oh, lummy neck. I finished an airplane.
Oh my goodness me!
Years ago, this is an Airfix Mustang built with draw decals as Edwina's Bardell Miss racer. I have been taken to task online because there are panel lines on the wing, and Ed apparently used to panel lines.
What a fail!
Honest, yeah, it's a major fail on my behalf. Probability that I didn't get the book with better photographs in it until Christmas, by which point the damn thing was deckled, so it was too late. It wasn't.
The other option is just to tell those people where to get off.
I couldn't possibly comment on that, but it's done. The AK black marker came in very useful under here for some fill-in bits and pieces. But to be honest, the decals performed flawlessly, and I really did enjoy building it. To the point at which, like, as I was just saying to Chris and Drew a minute ago, I rather foolishly then started another two. But there you go. Such is life.
I like the way the canopy looks nice on that. I've always thought the canopy on that Airfix kit was the major weakness of it.
Yeah, it took a little bit of polishing. Obviously, you get two options. You get something that purports to be a Dallas hood that isn't quite, but this is the original hood. I'm not sure whether I got them the right way around. But it fits the photographs I have of the aircraft.
But it's also got that curved windscreen, hasn't it, that people abandoned decades ago and Airfix decided to stick with.
It's a pretty thing really. As I say, for what it costs, the Airfix Mustang, you can build one in an evening to the point.
Yeah, a good proportion of those Airfix Series 1 kits are, just super little models, aren't they?
Cock on little thing. Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm also building some vehicles. I've got a brace of these. These are the B-Max new Mitsubishi Lancer Turbo. So this is going to be the Hong Kong to Beijing rally car, which is bright yellow and sponsored by 555, which is the tobacco brand that was also Lucky Strike, I think. So that's yellow. This is 1,000 Lakes rally car from Finland. But that's got wheel arch extensions on it. They're actually in the kit. They're a remarkably good fit. They're absolutely beautiful. There's no filler been using that at all so far. There are a couple of interesting engineering choices. There is a mold line that runs here, and you can maybe just about see it. Let me do it to my zoom shot. Maybe just about see it. It's there. Right on that sharp edge, and it runs up the edge there, all the way on there, all the way down there, all the way down there, and then all the way across the bit. But in the meantime, it also goes across the back there, look. And it's a mare to get rid of, an absolute mare. So they've been taking a lot longer than I thought they ought to. While they're doing that, I succumb to a resin car. I'll give a starter to 10 to anybody who can name that.
Aston Martin?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay. No, that's as far as I can go. Yeah.
That's a 1979 Le Mans entry.
Ah,
it's a V8 Aston. That's this is a Fernando Pinto kit. He's Portuguese, I think, and they're definitely for the experienced modeler. Should we just say that? They are. Yeah, there's some work to do with this one.
Nothing damns with faint praise like for the experienced modeler.
No. To be honest, outline-wise, it's absolutely spot on. You're just going to spend an awful lot of time building the finish up to give it to the point where you'll get a really good paint finish on it. Most of the chassis and the wheels and things like that are passable, but that's about it. This is a Tamiya Skyline. Well, not really a Skyline. This is a Tamiya Nissan L35 that I've been working on for a while. This has got a resin wheel arch extension kit on it. and some other modifications of my own, mainly around the front end here to make it look all angry. As you can tell, the resin had shrunk a little, as you'll notice.
Oh, hello.
Uh-oh.
Ian's pressed a button. That wasn't me. That was Ian. He's gone. He's vanished. Good Lord. Oh, no, he's back again.
Is he?
Yeah.
No.
There he is.
Oh, he's in a different place.
I don't know what happened there. I was just saying the resin had shrunk here, as is shown by the fact that the fuel filler cap is no longer lined up with the opening.
Ah,
It's remedial work going on there. But that's where I am. I've actually done
I can't say they are some seriously ugly wheel arches.
Oh, they're but that's very.
They are utilitarian, aren't they?
Yeah, Liberty Walk are very much that kind of bolted on, enormously wide-wheeled stance look. It's very much the Japanese tuner style. There are a number of manufacturers out there who actually offer them now as standard injection molded kits. Aoshima, for instance, do a series of kits with Liberty Walk parts in them, and they're lovely thing. They're lovely kits, and they are. Should we refer to them as an acquired taste as a finished car? Not everybody likes them. The purists get really annoyed about them. I love them.
I don't think it's unattractive. I just think it's ugly. If you get the difference.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're.
No.
It'll be interesting. I'm debating color for that one at the minute. I think the color will make or break that one when it's ready.
It's ugly but attractive in an A10 style.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If it falls on you, you're going to know about it.
Yeah.
I've just got to go and grab my phone because we've got an interloper on Twitch at the moment, and I need to boot them off the iPhone. So talk amongst yourselves for a few seconds.
Chris, over to you.
Well, I sent some pictures Jonathan's way of the Mustang I finally finished. The A for Arma April contest from 2 years ago, or group build from like 2 years ago. I finally got that done.
That's about your rate, though, isn't it, Chris? I think, to be fair.
Yeah, well, it's kind of that is kind of my timeline. Unfortunately, it takes a while to get things done, and I have a lot of projects going, and I keep flitting back and forth, which means things get done when they get done. So the timeline seems I get like 3 or 4 or 5 models done a year, but it seems like I started them like all 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah,
which is
they've all been in build for a decade, but you finish 4 or 5 a year.
Right. So I'm fully energized about building another one of them. Like hello, Ian. I feel what you're saying, because the kit itself, I know all the little peccadillos, the little things that you got to watch out for. And then Arma kit, that Arma Mustang, get the radiator put together squarely and make sure it fits before you progress. There it is. Get the do things like make sure you've got the tail wheel secured, because you've got to put that in before you join the fuselage. Little things like that. The quarter light panels need a little bit of finessing to get in just right, but it makes for a beautiful model, and I'm really pleased by the way this came out. And the decals I had to kind of scrounge together myself. The 51. This is Kitten, which is Charles McGee's airplane after it went through depot and was issued to my friend Woody Spears. And the you see the serial number on the tail. It's been exposed by removing the red paint with a rag.
Yeah.
And the 51, because of course no airplane has a font on it. It's got an actually hand painted thing on it. To get the 51, I had to take some decals from I think Yellow Wings decals for a 48 scale Sikorsky Kingfisher, and then decapitate a 5 and a 6 and put them together to get the angles right. So God bless photos and things. I kind of had to extrapolate from other Tuskegee Airmen aircraft from the way the font was applied, but I got there, and it's the way Woody's airplane looked like when it was shot down on April 24th, 1945, and ended up in Poland of all places.
That was so near the end. Oh,
yeah. So he had a photograph of a kid in Poland standing next to the tail of the airplane in a junkyard. That's how we know what that smear of paint on the back looked like. So yeah, it's fun building those personal ones. And you know, the PV1 is waiting for a new set of masks. Royce Sullivan was kind of to cut some masks for me for the 919 on the tail, but they're a little bit too big. So I'm waiting for that. But in the meantime, I figured my real quick and dirty like new kit to from here to 45 days out done will be this little baby right here, the Airfix Curtis Hawk 81A2, which has a D&J Hobbies price sticker on it.
Lordy.
The princely sum of $7.49. So I think I'll do it as Tex Hill's airplane, because I spent some time with him.
That's another one that goes together really quickly.
Yeah.
You know, really basic, but nice model. Goes together quickly. On forgetting to put the tail wheel in that Arma kit. If you do, an alternative to get around that is to tack it in place afterwards because you forgot, and then flood the entire area with super glue to set it all in place. Just if anybody, I'm not saying how I know this. I'm just saying
that's pretty much how I've repaired mine. It just keeps breaking off.
I'm just saying there are options. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. We are joined by Michael. Hello, Michael. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Yeah,
Happy New Year.
Fine. You have a good Christmas?
Yeah, it was really spectacular, to be honest with you. Just low key, just the three of us, nice little family time.
Mm-hmm.
It was good.
Shall we, gents, dive on with the news? Because we've got quite a bit of news to get through tonight. Ian, do you want to start off with that?
Ooh. Not that one, the other one.
That was the only one you sent me, or was it that one?
Right. Okay. Yeah, that one. Right. Okay. So this is VMAX Nunu's new announcement. This is the Paris Dakar winner, 1984 Porsche 911 SC Super Carrera 4x4, which is derived from the other one, which is an earlier release of the same chassis. So that's the 84 Oman Rally. If you look at the two, you'll see there are some reasonably significant differences around the kit.
Yeah, I prefer that one.
Yeah, a bit cleaner than the Dakar car.
Yeah.
Been waiting for this one. The thing is, they did the Oman one, and everybody went, "Oh, lovely, we're getting a Dakar one." 3 years later, we didn't, and then randomly today, the Dakar ones appeared on the list. So, quite pleased, although a little bit annoyed because I literally only just bought the Oman one because I was going to try and convert it to the Dakar car.
Well, now you've got two.
Yeah, typical. Typical.
That's a modeller's problem that modelers very rarely complain about.
Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it? But yeah, so quite keen though, because I mean the Dakar car has a bit more visual interest about it. There's a bit more lumps and bumps on it, but both of them are very pretty cars. And I've seen the Oman one built up by a few people, and it does look really, really well. Mm-hmm. And of course, as we're very well aware, the word racing on the side of that and on the front and in various other places should be replaced by another
rallying. Boring.
Rothmans.
Oh, okay. Right.
Okay.
Obviously, we're dealing with tobacco sponsorship issues here.
That's a drag.
Indeed. For it was not an issue, particularly not on the Dakar when it's in the middle of the desert and very few people cared whether you were smoking or not at that point. So, but there you go. So, but that's quite an interesting result. And I don't think there's been much in 124 scale Dakar issued for a while. It'd be nice to see a few more because there are some very, very quirky vehicles on that. The one that I did see, I don't know if you remember, Zvezda, I think it was, did a 135th scale version of their Maz truck in the Dakar fit.
Yes.
Absolutely gutted they didn't follow it up in 124 scale. That's a beast of a thing. Absolutely self-inflating tires and built-in compressor sets and just phenomenal creatures, the Dakar runners, particularly the more modern ones. And
sounds like something from the Cannonball Run, doesn't it? Self-inflating tires and
it's designed for if you're going across loose sands and surfaces, it will deflate or inflate its tires.
Yeah, you can vary the pressure of the suit.
Yeah, they are having seen a couple of them in the flesh over the years, they're definitely a class of vehicle all of their own. They're not, it's not something you can kind of take your road car and go, I know what I'll do. I'll make that into a Dakar runner. Not in this modern era, you can't. No, not at all. Back in the day, as is evidenced by the Porsche 1984 Porsche SC, you could take a 911 4x4 and make it into a Dakar runner, but no. But I'm quite keen about that. I'm quite pleased to see that. Does mean I'll end up with an Oman car as well as the Paris Dakar.
Oh no!
Hey ho! Who knew?
News. Another new announcement for 2025. I got to get used to saying 2025 because I'm so used. I keep wanting to say 2024, but there we go. This is a relatively new company called Lanmo Models. They have done They have done some stuff in the past. They've done some armored cars. I think they did a Sherman, though that might be somebody else's tooling. And they've done some D-Day funny kind of modifications, like crabs and shovels and things like that, wading gear. But this is a new tool that they're doing. This subject has been kitted by Italeri in the last kind of probably 10, 15 years, but this one has a full interior. The Italeri kit does not. So how much of that is visible on the finished model? I suppose you can open all those doors and vents and things. Fabulous looking vehicle. Really quite, as one would imagine with a bit of Italian engineering, there's a certain racing pedigree to it, I think.
It's interesting. I think, is the interior not sold as a separate kit?
I think it may be.
So you get the kit or you get the kit in the interior.
Okay, yep.
That's either way. That's a stunning little thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that, but I can see John liking that, wanting to build that.
Okay, yep, I think you're right. I do like the look of that.
I think of all of us, John, you're the one most likely to build that.
Well,
I know someone who won't.
Sorry?
I love the idea that
I know someone who won't.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the interior on a vehicle that served in the desert, because I get the feeling that a lot of times when they weren't actually shooting at people, they had everything opened up so they didn't asphyxiate in there.
Yes, yeah,
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Next
up is we covered this just before Christmas. This is Arma Hobby. Now we've talked about their plans to do the Curtis Mohawk family, and Arma have actually released a newsletter. I'm just going to try and bring it up on screen here. And this is their 2025 plans. Bear with, because StreamYard don't make it easy to share stuff like this. Here we go.
While you're doing that, that's really cool box art.
Yes,
it's nice.
Yeah. Here we go. Arma 2025. So, on Drew, I believe you are building one of those at the moment, aren't you? The Hayabusa.
I'm not building it. I have it here.
Okay. So coming up for their release schedule for 2025, there's going to be the Curtis H75 A1/A2. Then after a couple of months, Arma hope to release their P51D Mustang, which I get the funny feeling Chris will be over that like a rash on a whatnot. And then their other new toolkit that they're doing for 2025 is going to be a Messerschmitt 262. As the blurb says there with the Curtis Mohawk, it says February 2025, followed by P36 and H75 variants in various schemes and a version with a different engine. When it comes to the Mustang, they say 2 to 3 months later with P51K, F6D and other versions to follow. with the 262, another 2 to 3 months later, possibly after summer. I can hear Drew thinking, oh, autumn, thank God for that. A two-seater version isn't planned for now, but might be considered in the future. And they're doing variants of existing models. So they're doing a Photo Recon P39. They're doing a P51C Mustang in CBI Theatre, 48th scale Sea Hurricane Mark 2B, or not 2B, P400 Aero Cobra, and a P39 Aero Cobra brackets re-release. So it's all looking rather healthy from Arma for, oh goodness me, it's looking rather healthy for Arma for 2025, quite frankly.
Yeah, I did get sent.
There we go.
That by. Oh, this is reversed. Hang on.
No, you're okay. You're fine.
All right. Yeah, you're all right.
No, it's coming through fine at the moment, Drew.
Oh, is it? It's reversed on my screen. Oh,
no, well.
Weird. Yeah, no, I mean, many thanks to Arma Hobby for sending this through to IMC over Christmas. Yeah, it's. I know a lot of people are making a big deal about how they've changed suppliers, they've changed tooling, and it's not the toolings aren't as good as they used to be. And all I can say is, I mean that's the KI 84 that I built before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but this the surface detail, honestly,
I'm not seeing anything wrong with that, quite frankly.
Can you see that?
Yeah,
that looks really nice.
That is, I would say, in terms of overall quality of actual engraving, that is up with the very best Airfix I've ever achieved. Which is actually a pretty serious compliment these days. Is it as good as stuff like the KI-84 was? No, not quite, but it's there's nowhere near the difference that people would have you believe there is.
I think the only thing that would concern me is and this is just nitpicking, those sprue gates look pretty big all the way across.
I was just thinking that, Mike.
Yeah, I get, these days with stuff like God hand nippers and stuff, I just don't really. It's another one of those things I don't really think about because they all just go through it. I think if you'd say anything about these toolings, you can see around it that there is some flash and stuff that's going to need work, and obviously the tail plane here, or the vertical tail, there's that flash there that they've said wasn't deliberate, but is a byproduct of the fact that it's the thinnest trailing edges pretty much anybody's ever seen on a 72nd scale model. So they actually had a poll to see if people liked that or if they wanted them to go back to slightly thicker trailing edges and not have that flash. I think that flash will take a minute or two to trim off. Mike says it looks a little woolly. Mike, the actual surface isn't woolly at all. It's incredibly sharp. It's another one of those scenarios where, I don't know if you remember, but a few years ago, Airfix were getting taken to task for their detail all the time. And it turns out the plastic it was tooled in wasn't doing it any favors. But under a coat of primer, it all looked absolutely fine. But yeah, the edges and stuff, the actual molding, it's going to need a light sanding on every sort of major joining surface, I think, just to make sure it fits well. I think Luftraum is building one on Facebook at the moment, and apart from the cleanup, it seems to be going together pretty much as well as anything else that Arma have done in the past. So yeah, I mean, you can see that there's some flash and stuff around here that's going to need dealing with to make everything fit properly. But yeah, I mean, I think overall, I think it's a very, very decent effort, and I think it's going to make a very, very nice model.
When you consider the option is probably the Hasegawa kit that's
Yeah, and that's the thing is, your major option is the Hasegawa kit from 41, 42 years ago, which is a nice model.
Start off as Hasegawa, did it? Was it manga or something like that in the first place?
All I remember, Ian, was I can remember the day that the KO43 and the 84 were released by Hasegawa on the same day and turn up in my model shop on the same day. So I think some of the 48 scale kits were Mania, wasn't it? Was the name?
Mania, that was it.
Mania. Yeah. But I don't know if the 43 and 84 were from there originally. Stuff like the Corsair wasn't it? The F4U4 in 48, that was a Mania kit and things like that. But no, I mean, I think overall, I just think it's a great looking little model. Maybe not quite as sharp as some of their previous stuff, but they're working on it and getting it there. So. It's either that. It's like people. I mean, I was speaking to Jamie the other day, and he said he really wishes they go back to the original tooler. And I think that's fine, but then you've got a company that's going to be out of business in a year. You either take that there has to be some compromise in terms of if they want to build a successful business, they have to be able to afford the toolings.
Yeah.
Well, not just that, you don't even know how long the toolmaker would delay things.
Yeah.
So I mean, you invest all that money, and you never know when you're actually going to see the fruits of.
So they'll have a healthy business, or they have a business that releases one kit a year and goes under in a couple of years.
Next. IBG have released box art for one of their Gothas that they're doing. Oh my goodness me! I mean, we saw the CAD renders before Christmas, and it does look quite spectacular. That box art is beautiful.
That's a nice piece of box art, isn't it?
It is. It sells the kit. And,
nothing strikes fear in your heart more than a glider with a shark mouth.
Absolutely. They're also doing some accessories for it. So there are going to be some 3D printed wheels. Actually, I think these come with the kit. 3D printed paratrooper seats with straps in place. Yeah, it's very nice.
I like how the belts are different.
Yes, they are. I noticed that. Yes, it's not just like a step and repeat. That's very nicely done. And also the pilot seat with seat belts. And also, a set of masks apparently will be included with the kit as well. Obviously, we've had the is it ICM? No, is it Mini Art or ICM have done it?
ICM did it in
48 scale, yeah. So we've got this coming from IBG in 72nd scale. Looks fabulous. Whether I'll get round to building one, I don't know. I'd like to, but my dance card is already starting to fill up, and we're only into January the 12th. But gets my vote. I think that's a.
I mean, I've got no interest in the glider except for that box art makes you want to build the glider.
Thank you. I was just going to say the exact same thing.
The box art very often sells kits
for sure.
And while I was waiting, I'm interested in the powered version of the 244, isn't it? Rather than the glider, but that box art could sell the kit.
Drew, you're building one of these at the moment, aren't you?
No.
Oh, good Lord.
That's the 72nd one for a start. Which isn't out yet. I do have the 48th one here ready, and I will be getting on with it, quite shortly. But it's one that's been delayed for various reasons at the moment.
My error. Right. So Clear Prop
is building it.
Yeah, Mike Williams is building one.
That's it. Well, Clear Prop are following up with a 72nd scale version of the kit. And again, they're showing that there are going to be 3D printed goodies for it, including different types of wheels. So this is different hub patterns. So there we go. And also the closed canopy frame detailing set. and canopy masks for the exterior and the interior, which is rather neat. Drew, I think it's fair to say, I think this 72nd scale one will at some stage feature in your feature on your dance card.
Oh, indeed, yeah, absolutely, without a doubt, yeah. It's very rare that Clear Prop release something these days that I don't buy. So, because they've really sort of they've really ascended into the major leagues in terms of quality these days. I still say if people haven't seen one of their 72nd scale OV1 Mohawk kits, you owe it to yourself to look at that kit because it's absolutely stunning, just genuinely stunning. And that's their general quality these days. But for some reason, that the Mohawk just stands out to me as just being one of the just mind-bogglingly nice.
You've just reminded me, actually, that I really should get round to ordering one of their Gloucester Whittles.
Yes, and they've just released the 48th one, haven't they?
You what? Sorry?
And they've just released the 48th one.
Yeah, they've done it in 72nd scale and 48 scale. So yeah, I really got to get one of them. Oh goodness me! I promised myself this year that I'd only buy a kit if I got rid of 2 from the stash. So okay, that's a plan. That's my plan unraveling straight away here. But
those plans never work.
No, this is true. Drew, also, I believe you've got one of these, haven't you?
I've got one of the F15 boxings, yeah. The original F15 boxing and the 8-ball scheme.
That's an interesting airplane right there with the shape underneath. That flew out of Moffett Field, and they dropped those to study transonic and supersonic behaviors of shapes using gravity. And at one point, because of a mixed up signal between the pilot and the observer, they dropped that on the city of Milpitas. we had an article about it in our local our club newsletter because one of the guys worked out at NASA Ames and had access to all the files, and they bombed Milpitas with one of those things.
What's the kit like, Drew?
Sorry?
What's the kit like?
It's okay. It's not great. It's a little bit. The detailing is the panel detail and stuff is actually quite rough. I think it's because it's A&A rather than models fit as such. It's their sort of second tier. It's more like A model used to be,
right?
In terms of it's definitely derivative stuff. And very, very much more limited run. It's not. I mean, it's certainly not unbuildable. It certainly looks like with a bit of effort, it'll make a really nice model. But bearing in mind it is from the same stable as Models Fit, you should not be expecting a Models Fit kit from it. Dave Fleming there says A&A's Hawk 200 was a bit meh. Yeah, I think Dave meh is probably a pretty good all-round description for it, in that if it's a subject that you really want, you're gonna make a go of it. But it's certainly not top-tier toolings by any stretch of the imagination.
Drew, we've got a question here from Richard who says, wasn't Clear Prop supposed to do a 72nd scale Grumman E1 Tracer AEW?
Yes, they were stroke R. I think obviously Clear Prop, as with many of these Ukrainian manufacturers, are up against it a little bit. So they've announced quite a lot, and they generally, I've noticed that they do get to the stuff they've announced eventually. It's just that they're very much up against it. So I think of that because I really like the Tracer. I think it's a great looking aeroplane, and I look forward to it. But you just have to appreciate that these days, with everything coming from Ukraine, you just have to bear with, really.
Bear with. Yeah, exactly.
I think it will come, because the overall reaction to it when they announced it was overwhelmingly positive. So I think they've done the research, if you like, and it is a viable subject for them. And given the standard of their kits these days, it will be very much worth the wait. But unfortunately, it is a case of waiting these days. So
let's drop down a scale, shall we? This is Sova-M, and they have done a series of 144 scale big wing Canberras. So yes, I never. Do you know what? I never know what to make of these big wing Canberras, because the original Canberra just had this beautiful kind of elegance to it, and then you get these honking great big things, and they do have a bit of a kind of a brutish charm to them, don't they?
I really love them. I think they're, it just showed how versatile the platform was, and I think a lot of that is because of how basic a shape it is. It's easy to do things with a Canberra. I love that. Oh, that is just a glorious aeroplane, isn't it? It's just absolutely awesome. And Sova-M are again, they are from the model Svit, and they are firmly in sort of A model 2001, 2002 sort of territory. This will be quite a basic rough. I mean, that even looks like sort of A model box art, really.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine the amount of nose weight that needs to go in that thing based on the landing gear.
Yeah. I think the good thing is, though, Mike, all Canberras at some point had a tail prop.
Yeah,
that's true.
The tail prop was quite common on Canberras, so it is, you could do that. But yeah, certainly I do like the original, so shall we say, big wing, but the F variant is just
looks like a beast.
Oh, it just absolutely is. It was big TF33 engines, huge wing, couple of jets under, a couple of extra turbo jets under. Was it J58s or something? J57s?
I think J57s.
Yeah.
Do you remember, Drew? Do you remember years ago? I think it was in one of the. I think it might have been in one of the model magazines. I think it was the Newark Modelers did a Canberra kind of display for
yes.
the IPMS Nationals, or it was Stoneleigh, and they were doing all kinds of conversions to whatever Canberra kits were around at the time. So I think it was the Airfix one, the Italy one, and the Frog one. And I do believe it was Dave Buttress who was doing resin mods for them.
It was,
yeah, DB did the vac form wings for this.
Yeah.
And resin engines and stuff.
Yep.
As an ex-member of Lincoln IPMS, yeah, it was Dave Buttress, and through the Newark branch, they did it as a combined display. Stoneleigh. Yeah, some of those models still exist, I believe.
I'll dig out the magazine article and scan it and put it up on the IMC page. Also coming from Sova-M, they're doing a 144th scale family of Albatross. Fabulous looking aeroplane, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
What flavour is it, John?
Well, yeah, haven't got any. Just got this Albatross.
But I like that one. I haven't built enough Japanese maritime aircraft in my lifetime, and in that respect, I've built 0 Japanese maritime aircraft in my lifetime. But I've got to build. Yes, I do like those, and yep.
It's kind of a timeless shape, isn't it?
Yeah, it always kind of, obviously there is not a lineage, but it always looks like a kind of like a super widgeon, doesn't it? So yeah. It's a Grumman widgeon that's been on steroids.
Right. That's kind of
neat. I see 144th. That's going to be a very small little model. I really wish somebody would do a mainstream 72nd Albatross. But then you've got 2 distinct variants, haven't you, that were very, very different in terms of fuselage length and wings and stuff.
I thought the difference between the A and the Bs was that they stuck a extension in the wing that was actually a straight extension. Because I was thinking of converting the old monogram one just by sawing that section out. It's really weird when you look at it in plan form, because it's a nice taper along or a sweep, or a sweep forward on the trailing edge, and then it just stops and goes straight and it starts again. So it was just that simple. Just drop a Drop a
Just
6
this
foot
concrete
chunk.
core section just dropped in.
Yeah, it was fascinating airplane.
If I remember correctly, didn't the old Monogram one possibly start out as an Aurora kit? It comes with a life raft and a guy in the raft, doesn't it? And a bit of sea scow.
It is that old, yes.
Yes.
I'm just scale mating that. I'm just scale
Listen, you
mating.
can't fact check me because Facebook have stopped doing it and I don't care anymore.
I'm just doing monogram I've lost where I am now. UH16 monogram UH16. Bear with. Talk amongst yourselves, chaps. Here we go. No, it was apparently a monogram original. What year do we think that came out, everybody?
63.
68.
58.
Chris is the closest, actually. 1957.
Wow.
Good Lord.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, goodness.
I didn't get a guess. 1957.
Yeah, very good,
No.
Mike.
Good job. Good job, Mike.
That was amazing, Mike.
Amazing. It's like you're
I am pretty awesome at that.
More Grumman, and this I know definitely is in up Drew's Strasse, if you pardon the expression. Yeah,
Well, not just mine. This will be very much up Chris's.
Yeah, I've already committed to building one of these for the Museum of Flight, so I've got this kit. This kit has to come out soon. I have to get it done by June. So,
sorry.
2029.
well, you know, their exhibits kind of rotate. So maybe.
We love you, Chris. We love you, honestly. I mean, it's a tiger cat, isn't it? It's speaks for itself, really, doesn't it? It's glorious.
One of the most beautiful twin-engined aircraft ever, I think.
You know, Tiger Cat is to the Hornet as Bearcat is to the Sea Fury.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep.
I think we have a F7 F3N down in Pima.
Mm-hmm. Go take your camera down there, Michael.
Yeah, maybe I should do a little walk around for you guys.
Yep.
It's just a great
got to say,
airplane, isn't it?
I do like the F7F 3N. I was always a bit disappointed that AMT balked theirs. They did something with the nose, and it just ended up being, I think it was just way too skinny on their 48 scale one. The 48 scale one I always thought was a very decent kit, but not their night fighter one. Apparently, it went a bit south around the nose, which is a shame.
I remember getting that kit, and the rubber wheels were literally stuck into the wing.
Yeah, there was a lot of problems with that when it was first released, wasn't there? With the wheels.
I wouldn't mind, but you'd have thought they might have known after the amount of time they made plastic car kits and they came out welded to the bodywork. AMC, you'd have thought would have worked it out by the time they issued that. Absolutely. Talk about going backwards with your development. It was terrible.
Well, speaking of going backwards, I've made a lot of money selling revised props for the AMT kit because they molded the pitch backwards.
That's right.
Yes, I remember.
I remember that.
Drew, which one of those is the one that grabs your fancy then, or is it all
3N? Oh, the 3N.
Yeah, the
Right,
3N
okay.
is the starting place for me.
Oh yeah, the 3N without doubt.
No,
I do like the 2D as well. That is that's a nice scheme.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the F3 and thinking, I know there was an air racer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
There were two. I was at Stead one year, and there were two Tiger Cats out there, owned by the same folks. And yeah, it was if one R2800 is good, then two is way better.
I've got a picture of one on its wingtip rounding a pylon somewhere. Yeah. That's what we need.
Imagine if they put twin or 4360s or whatever they were.
There's a couple of Bearcats with 3350s, wasn't there? So
yeah.
The one thing that did get me, I was sent a picture by a friend of mine today because I'm talking about attempting to make Stiletto, the highly modified P51, and he sent me a picture of Stiletto at Reno, racing second to a Sky Raider. At which point, I kind of put that away for a bit.
Are you sure it wasn't a practice lap?
No,
or he wasn't about to lap the Sky Raider?
during the race, and the Sky Raider was a good 200 to 300 yards up going into pylon 3 on about lap 3. The Sky Raider finished 7th. Stiletto did not, unfortunately. But that's the things you find in air racing books.
Next is, well, I think this is the kit everybody has been waiting for. Stand by. It's also from Fly, and it's the Marcel Besson MB411.
Yes.
And it's the Petrel.
Le Petrel.
Oh God, I've been waiting for this for decades.
Absolutely. Well, I'm not knocking it. Number built, 1 prototype, 2 production. But it's just got that kind of Gallic madness to it, hasn't it? It's I like the look of this.
If I ever stumble across an aircraft these days that I've never seen before, 95% chance it's going to be French.
Yes.
There's that period before the war where the French had the monopoly on designing the world's ugliest aircraft.
I was just going to say, actually, that usually you find out it's French, but actually it just looks incroyable, which I do believe we actually do have a graphic here for the show. There we go, incroyable. So,
in the style of Rush,
absolutely. So only 1 prototype, 2 production, but
to be fair though, Ian, there was a 10-year period after World War II where the French were responsible for anything totally mental.
Yeah.
What's that little motor above the 8 on top?
Looks like a
like a winch of some sort.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's probably to
to get back up onto the ship.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just read you a bit of blurb about it. In 1932, Besson created the MB410 by replacing the twin floats of the MB35, blah, 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 blah. The French Navy required a spotter aircraft for its new submarine, Surcouf, and ordered a production version designated MB411. It was specifically designed for housing in a cylindrical hangar in the back of the Surcouf's conning tower. The MB11 could be assembled to put on the wings in about 4 minutes, or at sea up to 20 minutes after it was removed for its hangar. Blah 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 blah.
Oh,
it's all up there on Wikipedia, folks. If you want to learn about it.
So specifically to operate from submarines.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Operational history. On June the 18th, 1940, the Surcouf chose to join the Free French Naval Forces in England. And the MB411 stayed in England, where it gained the name Petrel, in line with the Royal Navy's practice of naming their planes after seabirds. So, and there's the stickers for it.
That's about 10 minutes worth of work right there.
What? Sorry, Mike?
I said that's about 10 minutes worth of decaling right there.
Yeah, not enough stencils for me.
The anchors are pointing the right direction. That's about it.
But you can't say this hobby isn't buoyant at the moment when we're getting.
Oh dear me!
Yeah, exactly.
Is the show over now?
I'm just stunned by the amount of scaffolding under the fuselage. I mean,
yes.
My showroom at work's being rebuilt, and there's less scaffolding on that than that.
Yes, the only thing missing is a kind of like an English worker, kind of like leching at somebody, wolf whistling.
I just like the Surcouf, the idea that it was basically like French submarine battleships. We're going to put everything a battleship has on the submarine, including a spotter aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that puts me off immediately, other than it's just dead ugly, there's already too much rigging involved, so I'm out.
Oh, come on, Mike.
No rigging.
It's not like it's an F2A or something.
Oh. Yeah, a Gotha.
Yeah.
Well, guess how many Gothas I have.
Well, here is. I've just gone onto Wikipedia. There is the French submarine Surcouf. Oh my goodness me, that looks absolutely mad, doesn't it?
I don't know what you're looking. We're not seeing it, mate.
Oh, you're not? Okay. Sorry. There we
Glad you
go.
got to see it though, John.
So
There
pleased.
we go.
Well,
There we go.
oh my
Oh
word!
my
Yeah,
goodness.
it looks like something from Thunderbirds, doesn't it?
So not only did they design ugly aeroplanes, they also designed ugly submarines. We're doing
Biggest submarine until the Japanese I-400s, which
look,
also carried aircraft.
There's the MB411 in the background there. Oh, there's one with a different color on top, and there's another one. We're going through all the color schemes here. Oh, and a stamp as well. We'll just
Is that
Look at those guns.
Is that main guns?
Yes.
Yeah, 203 millimeter gun. 203 millimeter gun. Look at torpedoes.
Holy cow.
I can only imagine that if you wanted to aim it, you had to swing the ship round, didn't you? So,
We thought
Way to
about
go,
torpedoes.
France.
We thought about torpedoes and we decided on guns.
I want to build a model of the Sakoof now. So
It was lost in the Caribbean after colliding with a freighter. So in 1942, they think because they don't know where it went.
Okay. Also coming from Amusing Hobby is this. It's a 48 scale Focke-Wulf Flitzer. Now this is obviously Luftwaffe 1946, as the little logo in the bottom right hand corner says. This subject has been kitted by Revell in 72nd scale. Do you know what? I do like the look of this.
Didn't Arma do it in 48th resin as well?
Possibly, yeah, back in the long ago's. But it does have a vampiric look to it. Quite frankly, this is probably a more accurate 1/48 scale vampire than the Hobbycraft kit.
Wow. Jonathan's been saving that one.
Oh gosh, yes, absolutely. God, don't get me started on that.
There's never enough bad things to say about that Hobbycraft vampire, is there?
I dug out. I found some reviews of it in a AN model magazine when I was digging out looking for some stuff the other week, and it was just the review. It ended with the words "recommended to all," and I thought, define all.
Because the writer hates you.
Oh, it's honestly. Anyway, let's move on from the Hobbycraft vampires. Yeah, this I do like the look of this.
It'll be a lovely kit if it's Amusing Hobby. It will fall together.
Yep. Yeah, I am most amused by this. Is the best way of putting it. Next on the list, this is one I'm definitely going to get hold of. One of these. This is Flyhawk, and this is one of their 72nd scale Panzer IVs. They're doing a whole family of them. I've seen images of the Flyhawk kits. They look absolutely sumptuous. I've just got to get hold of one. So if anybody out there, viewers, if you can find me an eBay retailer who's doing these at a good price, do share it or message us or put it on the Facebook page. And yep, comes with photo etched parts and by the looks of it, a brass barrel and also 3D printed bits and pieces as well.
Hobby Easy, your place to go to them, I think. John.
You what? Sorry, Ian?
Hobby Easy might be a place.
Hobby Easy, right? Okay. And there are also 3D printed accessories you can get for it. Looks like the gun breech there, and also tracks. But I've seen quite a bit of online of Flyhawk stuff. But I got to get one of these. Obviously, I'm alone in that opinion. But
It's just another German tank, isn't it?
In the wrong scale.
It's just the right kit.
Yeah.
No, I really like this. I actually started building 72nd scale dioramas, and if you're doing anything involving the German army, it really should probably have a Panzer IV or Panzer III, just because they were so numerous. But it's great to see really high quality models in the scale of these really important subjects. We've seen all kinds of interesting off the wall things, and this is kind of a, like bread and butter. It's like a Sherman. It's just ubiquitous. So.
Mm-hmm. Right, we're going to wrap up tonight with a very quick look at Revell's some of their projected releases for 2025. I will caveat this isn't a full list, but there are some kind of pointers to what they are looking at doing for this year. And for aircraft modelers, obviously we've spoken about it on the show, is they're doing a 32nd scale Meteor F8, which I got to say does look fabulous, and it is going to come with an engine on a stand. They're also doing a 32nd scale Hunter T7/7A. In fact, we're just going to bring up the let's bring up the images, shall we? Share screen, window, there we go. So there we go, Gloucester Meteor F8/FR9, which is great because, frankly, I think the FR9s do have some very nice schemes. And scrolls down, there we go, Hawker Hunter T7/T7A. Also, no illustration on the document here, but they are also doing they're rejigging their recent 32nd scale Hurricane. They're doing a Sea Hurricane Mark II-C, which does interest me greatly. And if we just whiz down to the bottom of the screen, there we go. They're doing 76th scale M19 tank transporter, which is of course the Diamond T, and this is the old Matchbox kit, isn't it, Drew?
Kit, yeah.
Talking of Matchbox, hurrah! Look at this. We are getting back some of their 32nd scale car kits. So we're getting the Mercedes-Benz SSKL. We are also getting scrolls down. We're also getting their come on. There we go. We're also getting their Porsche 911. Sorry, not that one. The Porsche 917/10, and we are also getting their 6-wheel Tyrrell as well, the P34. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we're also getting the Surtees TS16, and gets to the bottom, Tyrrell P34. And I've actually got a Matchbox boxing of that, but to get
they're improving the decals. That's the big thing. That's the issue.
Yes.
If they're putting nice, shiny, newly designed decal sheets in, they'll make me very happy, because the old Matchbox ones that they've rolled over and over and over are definitely second best.
Yeah.
On the other hand, they are nearly 50 years old, so
there is that.
I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I'm over 50-year-old, and I'm definitely second best now. So I'm with them on that. You know, I don't know how they feel.
Yeah. How am I aging? Like old decals?
Like old Matchbox decals in a closed box.
A bit dry and curled at the edges.
Yeah, a bit yellow in the middle.
I'm definitely out of register these days, so so that's it for the news for tonight. Obviously, middle of the week, we've got the home team are announcing their release schedule for 2025.
Looking forward to it.
And more companies will be announcing stuff in the next few weeks as the toy fairs roll round. So, gentlemen, out of all of what we've seen tonight, what has been the ones that have piqued your interest? So, starting with you, Drew, out of all them, which ones are you kind of like throwing your debit card out, your credit card out?
I mean, for me, it's the Tiger Cat. The Tiger Cats, probably. Trying to remember what else we've seen. We've seen quite a lot tonight, haven't we?
We have, it's been an action-packed show.
But the Tiger Cats and anything by Clear Prop or people like that is always going to get my attention and close attention, and probably my money. So because there's quite a lot of stuff been released in the last few weeks as well, hasn't there? The F86. There you go.
Yeah.
In the last few weeks, we quite a lot of stuff has actually been released, hasn't it? The Academy P8's out. I did get the Academy Wildcat sent to me before Christmas. The new Academy Wildcat, which is beautiful, by the way.
Have you not taken any photographs and put it up on the IMC yet?
No, it's been out for a month or two, so I thought everybody covered it. So it's and
I should get one of them because I love the Wildcat.
Well, you should. It's only about. I'll talk to Mr. Hills. It's only about 20 quid.
I have to say, Christoph, what's piqued your interest?
Well, obviously, I'm the Tiger Cat because I've already committed to it, for goodness sakes, and also the F86. That's the first F86A in that scale since Matchbox, and so I have a Korean War collection in my cabinet missing F86As. So I'm excited about that. That was the real MiG killer in Korea versus the Fs and the E that you see kitted all the time. So I'm super excited about it. Plus, those guys make great models. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Arma Hobby P51D.
When that shows up, I'll be excited about it. But I have lots of P51Ds already, including one from last year. So I'm being flooded with options. And so I'll build my Mustangs, but I was just waiting for the F86 to show up. The right
Michael, what's grabbed your attention from 2025?
Honestly, nothing.
All right. Thank you.
I know that sounds terrible. I mean, everything we saw tonight was kind of. I actually thought that ridiculous French float plane was kind of neat. Not something I'd ever buy. You know what? And I think Chris and I have been to enough shows, and we've known each other for a long time. It's always the weird stuff at a show table or on a contest table that grabs my eye. Mm-hmm. It's never, no offense, the P-51s, the Focke-Wulfs, the ME-109s. It's always the cool, what is that? And like Drew says, usually French. So that if they did that in 48 scale, I might be like, But the Clear Prop F86A, now that I know they have it in 48 scale, that's going to be on my to purchase list for sure.
It's beautiful, Mike. It's really, really nice. It is.
And Drew, by the way, since you've got the new Academy P8, would you like to try my radar and strakes and everything that Craig Sargent designed?
Oh, is that for the Academy kit?
Yeah, we scaled it down.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
We'll work it out.
Because as soon as the kit, I don't think it's actually on release in this country as yet. So it's in the next few weeks. But as soon as the kit's out,
we'll talk after the show.
Yeah. No worries.
Ian, what's grabbed your attention?
Well, there's a couple of things that are delayed. They're Carca models, so it's traditional. So we're waiting on an M4 BMW M4 racer and a new version of the new Audi R8, which are both Valentino Rossi related cars. So an Evo 2 R8 and the M4. But that Paris Dakar runner, that's why I was a little bit put this in the schedule earlier on, because that's a cool car.
I wonder if they're going to ever run the new Lambo 4-wheel drive car and something like
well, the Urus.
Yeah. No, not the Urus. They did the Huracan.
The new thing. Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, the thing with them is obviously Lamborghini are part of the Volkswagen Audi group now.
Right.
So, you never know. You never know you're lucky in a raffle. Particularly when Volkswagen Audi are involved. I have to be careful. I work for them, so work for one of their brands. So, but yeah, you it's like the whole thing with Formula One and Sauber.
Yeah,
completely left field. So they've got involved with that. So we'll see. You will see. But they have got form of running on the Paris Dakar of the Volkswagen Audi group over the years. So it'll be interesting to see what we get.
Yeah,
gents.
By the way, totally unnecessary tools that are great to own.
Any other business? Right, Drew, any other business? There we go. Go on.
Totally useless tools that are great to own. Ultrasonic cutters. I got it this weekend. It's just mind-blowing.
How does it work?
What did that cost, Drew?
250 quid, Mike.
You're ridiculous.
But Mike, the thing is, for cutting off stuff like these, like attachments for 3D prints, it's the best thing ever. It really is, because there's no stress.
So how does it work, Drew?
Through ultrasonics.
Well, yeah.
Magic of ultrasonics.
It's just that this is vibrating at like 40,000 vibrations a second.
Okay.
And it's just it just performs almost like if you were pulling it, but using absolutely no force whatsoever.
So almost as if it was like a hot knife.
Yeah, virtually. And if you cut polystyrene with it, it will end up melting the polystyrene slightly.
Right.
Now, is it peculiar that I can hear that?
No, you can hear it. No, I can. It's
a very, very high pitched whine I'm getting.
Yeah.
No,
when it's not actually attached to anything, when it's not actually cutting,
yeah,
you can hear it. But it just makes that cut very, very, very controllable. If you know what I mean, rather than having to apply pressure and you end up with these snapped, you end up with like nodules on the part, and you just get none of that with this. Completely, like I say, it's expensive and it's completely unnecessary. But
apparently, your brother thinks that defines you as well, by the look of it.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I don't.
Did a certain pair of F-111 wings fund that ridiculous tool?
But just it means that stuff there just pulls away after cutting, but it's left no scarring down the rear end. And if you just push a piece of a sanding block down that'll be perfectly straight then. Like I say, it's not essential by any stretch of the imagination, but I had the money spare. I've been looking at one for months, and I thought for things like 3D prints, where you quite often get a lot of supports, and it can be very troublesome to remove them without damaging the surface. It's very, very useful indeed. So
there's a member of my club who's building he's building the interior of Thunderbird 2, and he's cutting holes in the hull so you can see inside using one of those cutters to have these nice rounded shapes.
It goes around really, really, because it's very, very controllable. And the thing is, with a lot of these resins that you use for printing, 3D printing, as Mike will tell you, they can be quite brittle. So if you're using cutters, if you're using, even single edge cutters like this, it'll tend to shatter it away rather than cut it, which can result in damage to the surface, which is what you want to try and avoid. And this just means that you don't get any of that at all. So that'll come away there. And like I say, with a little bit of sanding down there, that surface there is now completely ready. So I mean, it's expensive and it's very much a luxury item, but why not? It's not like I've got anything else to spend my money on. So I think people tend to shy away from spending money on good tools. Still, in this day and age, people will still shy away from spending money on good tools.
Not me.
Not me.
I just got these because I gave away my other ones.
Oh, what's that? Despise?
Display cutters.
Yeah,
and you know how hard these are to find now?
Yeah, I use God hands these days.
Yeah, I got these from Hobby Haven, I think. Pretty awesome. And they have the neat little leather protective thing.
People will still try and tell you that I can spend £5 on a pair of nippers from anywhere and get exactly the same results as with
No, you
God hands or
You
Bitcoin. It's
can.
like, no, you can't. Sorry, no, you just can't. I mean, even this is a set of single edge ones, but they're fairly cheap, but they're just used for major sprue cutting and stuff like that. But they're not even remotely as good as a
So
set of
those
God
ones
hands.
that you just had for major sprue cutting will come in handy for that massive sprue gate KI-83 or
Well, no, because I think actually, Mike,
KI-43. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I would use the God hands for that. I would if I wanted to cut through the sprue. I'd use those. But for actually cutting the parts away from the sprue, where you've got that smaller attachment point, the God hands are just going to nip it off completely flush, with very little cleanup necessary. So
I've never heard of God hands before.
God hands were the people who were before Dispy. So God hands do an awful lot of stuff. They do sanding blocks and sanding sponges and stuff like that. They're quite a big Japanese brand. So they're well worth checking out the stuff they do. If you go on Plaza Japan or something, they've got an awful lot of God hand stuff on there.
There you go.
There you go.
It's an addiction. I'm sorry. I have a God hand drawer.
Yeah, because again, it's like it's top tier tools.
Yeah,
you know, even their sanding sponges and sanding sticks and stuff like that. It's just all top tier.
It's good to know.
Beautiful stuff.
Oh,
well worth having a
sanding sponges. Oh my goodness me! Absolutely, I love them. I absolutely love them. Anyway, right, gents. I'm afraid. Talking of God hands, I'm afraid this is God's gift here. He's telling me it's time to go and feed him, which means it's the end of the show, unfortunately. So a very big thank you to Chris, to Ian, to Drew and Mike for joining us tonight. And a big thank you to all of you who have tuned in this evening. I'm sorry we didn't get around to doing the usual call out, but God bless you. We really do appreciate your patronage on this.
God bless you, Governor.
God bless you, Governor. On this, I don't know what it's like at your end of Somerset, Drew, but it's reached chilly here tonight.
No, it's quite mild here. It's mild by standards of what we've had recently, I suppose.
That's true. Yeah.
I was just saying, we don't get weather in the UK anymore, do we?
No, we just get
just kind of bumbles along. It's
if you'd like to come to North Yorkshire, gentlemen, I'll introduce you to weather.
Why on earth would I want to go to North
Hey, we got down to freezing overnight here in Phoenix. Freezing.
You live in the desert, though.
Yeah, well, deserts do freeze at night.
Yeah,
And
that's what I mean. Yeah.
I'm wearing long sleeves. Well, sort of.
Oh, actually, before we go, just want to deal with this one from Patrick, who says, lads, while the cost is one issue, how about the Despy reliability? So many reports of snaps, failures, buy dear, buy twice. Well, the funny thing is, those are my Despy nippers that I bought, Check's Notes Dirt, 6 years ago. They still do a job. I do wonder whether some of these reports of them breaking is people overstressing them.
Oh, it is without a doubt. I mean, my first set of Despy cutters I broke, and that's 100% on me. That was my bad. Nobody else to blame but me. My second set of Despy were never very good. The blade was slightly misaligned on it, so it was never a very good set. And then I tried the God hands, and haven't gone back since I tried the God hands. So I think it's I had one bad experience with Despy, not being a good, not being aligned properly and stuff. So I tried God hands and it's been great. So
It's funny because I'm in the opposite camp. I'm the buy cheap, buy twice guy. So I would rather have the quality that I know is quality, and I only have to buy it once here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, tools, even Despy cutters, they're gonna wear out. Eventually, they're gonna get old. They're gonna wear out.
It's interesting that, and Paul Boyle said the same thing. Don't cut clear parts. It was a clear sprue that did for my first set of Despy A, and there's something about the way clear plastic is.
Yeah.
They don't like.
Well,
And
it's
they
just more
actually
brittle,
now
isn't it?
instructions don't cut clear sprue with
Yeah, it's more brittle, isn't it?
brittle. Yeah,
Which,
and I think
which funny enough,
brittle is a shearing load, and that's it.
Yeah, it doesn't have enough give.
cutting clear parts, some of that that sonic knife would be brilliant at.
Yeah.
So
I've got to the point where I use a hot scalpel blade now to cut.
yeah,
clear.
which would be pretty much the same as that.
Same
I
color.
use my Zuron
Oh God.
cutters for clear parts. Zuron. Look at
You
that.
mean-
Look.
Welcome to the 1980s. with
Yeah,
John.
absolutely. Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant.
Now I got these things. I don't even know what they are. I think these were for photo etch.
Yeah.
See, I used to use these. Do you remember these ones?
Oh,
Good
gosh.
Lord.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, welcome to Nipper Corner.
The problem is I don't want to throw them
Hey,
away.
watch your
Occasionally
mouth,
come in useful.
There we go. We've scientist in the house. Dave Fleming says clear plastic is harder as no plasticizer. There we go.
Mhm.
There we go. That's an authoritative response there. So thank you, David. Right, gents, that's it. I have to go and feed his royal lardiness here because he's not going to leave me alone. So until the next time. And Drew, are you around Wednesday? Do you fancy doing an extra show so we can do a recap on the Airfix releases?
I will let you know. I don't know what's going on with work at the moment this week,
That's
so
fine.
I will let you know.
Yeah, unless you fancy doing it, Ian.
It's my day off actually on Wednesday, so I should be around.
Okay, we'll see what we can do. Gents, thank you so much for your company tonight. We'll be back. Well, we'll certainly be back next Sunday for a Sunday service. So until the next time, everybody, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay out of trouble, and we'll see you very, very soon. Bye for now.
Take care, all.